What comes to mind when you hear the word pensions? I've heard scary, I've heard makes me feel old, I've heard too far in the future. Today, we're going to break down why none of those things are true or relevant, and exactly why your pension is so important to be able to build a strong financial base for the future. Hello, my name is Lewis, and here we have a chat about everything to do with personal finance and being able to grow your money. And today, the topic at hand is pensions. Pensions are single handedly one of the most important things that you can have to help build yourself a strong base for your financial future and to be able to hit the objectives that you set yourself for what you want to do with your money. So, today, we're going to go into detail about what pensions are, how you can contribute to them, how you can make sure you're in control of all of your pensions and all the other benefits that come with putting money into your pension, whether it be as a self-employed person or through your workplace pension. So yeah, we're going to break down all the important info so that by the end of this video, you feel confident with how to proceed and how to maximize your pension. So let's start with the basics. What is a pension? A pension is effectively a collection of money or assets that you as an individual own that you are using or saving towards to be able to pay for your life in retirement. So that is effectively what a pension is. So if you're currently in a regular 9 to 5 job or just in general working for an organization, you should have been enrolled into a pension as part of joining that company. So every month you should have money going out of your salary that goes into a pension that was created, account that was created when you joined the company or after a set amount of time having been with the company. Now that money keeps accumulating through your working life until you come to retire from work. So in the UK at the moment where I'm based, the retirement age is currently 66, although I'm pretty sure that's going to be increasing in the not too distant future. And at the age of 66, you can start claiming a state pension. And the state pension is an amount of money paid to you by the government that allows you to be able to fund your lifestyle in retirement. But that amount is only about £12,000 a year. Now, I don't know about for you, but certainly for me, £12,000 a year is not enough money to be able to sustain a comfortable and sort of happy lifestyle in retirement. So that is why you have to be also contributing to your own personal pension, whether that be through your workplace or whether if you're self-employed, you have your own pension set up that you contribute into yourself. The idea being that the money that you put into your pension and the money that you get from the state for pension, bring them together allows you to live a comfortable lifestyle in retirement. So that's effectively how pensions work. You can retire early. You don't have to work all the way up to the current retirement age. So you can start claiming a pension from an earlier age as well, should you want to. But in principle, and using the basics, it's you working up to the age of 66 in the UK and then being able to draw down your personal pension and also the state pension. So that's just a brief overview of what a pension is. But what we really want to get into today is exactly why a pension is so beneficial to you and what the benefits are of having one, how you can maximize them, and how you can be contributing towards yours to give you the lifestyle that you want in retirement. The obvious and main benefit of a pension is the fact that it shields you from having to pay more tax. And let's be honest, everybody loves that. So that's a real big benefit of a pension. How does it do that? So firstly, any contributions that you make to your pension through your workplace coming out of your salary every month, that amount of money goes into your pension totally tax free. How? Because it's taken out of your salary before you then pay tax, before income tax is charged on the amount of money that comes back to you. So if you have, say, £200 a month going out of your account and into your pension, out of your salary into your pension, that £200 is coming out of the gross income that you have coming in. So it goes out before you are taxed. Then the tax is taken off of what's left. So by putting that money into a pension, you receive a very small but notable tax buffer. Also, when your money is then invested in your pension, the amount that your money grows over time, you also don't pay tax on that. So your money is able to grow completely tax-free in your pension account. And then thirdly, when it gets to the other end and you're looking to take the money out, you're allowed to withdraw up to 25% of your pension completely tax-free. So you've not paid tax when it's gone in, you've not paid tax while it's in there, and then you can take a portion of it at your retirement completely tax-free as well. So that's a really massive benefit of investing into pensions and putting money into your pensions, because being able to avoid and legally avoid tax in that way is a really, really beneficial way of making sure your money stretches as far as possible. And that's exactly where a pension trumps a regular investment account. So some people out there, and some people maybe watching this video at the moment, will have not be contributing significant amounts to their pension. Their money will come in to them monthly into their bank account. Then they'll be putting a lot of their money into an investment account. Now, I appreciate there might be variables as to what you're investing in, but in principle, you would be better off moving some of that money to go into your pension before it comes into your personal account and goes into an investment account. So if you're putting £200 into your pension and £400 into an investment account, let's say, consider swapping those numbers and increasing your contributions into your pension, because then you'll be putting more money into an investment account, but tax-free. And then you'll be putting only the £200 that comes into your salary each month then into your other investment account. If you're really serious about building long-term wealth, then yeah, that's one of the real major benefits of pensions and being able to help navigate the tax system in that way. The second big benefit of a pension is that you can access free money. So if you're currently working for an employer at the moment, as already mentioned, you will have been put into a pension scheme of some kind when you joined the company or after a certain amount of time in the company. Now, depending on where you're at the moment, you might not even notice that that money goes out of your salary every month and into your pension scheme. So the first thing I would say is, going away from this video, go back to your most recent payslip and have a look at how much money is going into your pension, because that's going to give you a really strong starter point to work out where you are and how much more money you maybe want to consider contributing. So how do you access the free money? So when you contribute to your pension, your employer also contributes to your pension for you. So they're effectively putting in free money into your pension scheme as well as what you are putting in. Now, let's say, for example, that you're putting in 3% of your salary at the moment, and then your employer has a designated percentage that they're putting into your pension account as well. So let's say 5%. That 5% firstly is worked out on what your salary is. So it's 5% of what your salary is. That 5% and that 3% go together, and they both go into your pension account, which then makes up 8% that you're actually contributing to your pension account every month. And now this is the bit where it gets really, really good, where you can max out your employer contributions. Now, a lot of employers will offer a matched contribution system pension scheme up to a certain point. So if your employer is offering something like a 6% match pension contribution scheme, what that means is you can contribute up to 6% of your salary, and they will match that and contribute 6%, i.e. the same amount, into your pension fund as well. So you bring those two things together, you're actually contributing 12% of your salary into your pension scheme. But the 6% that's coming from your employer is not coming out of your salary. That amount is an additional amount that they contribute into your pension scheme. So it's not money that if you weren't matching it, that money wouldn't come through in your paycheck. That is effectively free money on the table that you can take advantage of. I meet and talk to so many people that have no idea what their company's pension policy is. So another takeaway from this video is, after you've watched it, please, please, please go away and dig into what your employer pension scheme is, because you could be leaving free money on the table that could be helping contribute towards your retirement. So make sure you dig into that to make sure you're getting the most out of your employer, particularly if they're offering a match scheme. Make sure that you're putting in the maximum amount that your employer will match to. So if they offer a 6% match, you make sure your pension contributions are 6%. If it's an 8% match, same again. Make sure you're getting the most. After the matched amount, you can keep contributing higher amounts to your pension if you want to, but your employer won't match you. So you could put in 10% if you wanted to, but your employer is only putting in 6%, and that would give you 16% in total going in. So the match contribution just matches what you're putting into your pension account. If they're operating a match scheme and you're only putting in 3%, but they'll match up to 6%, you're leaving 3% of your salary in free money on the table every single month. Now, when you put it like that, it's a no-brainer to make sure you're maxing out your contributions and matching what your employer is putting in. The next most popular question I hear around pensions is, how much money should I be contributing? Now, retirement for a lot of people feels like a really long way off, However, it's something that you should be thinking about throughout your working life, because the more you contribute at a young age, the more and better benefits you'll have from your pension as time goes on. That's due to the compounding effect. And the more the compounding effect has chance to take hold of your money, the more money you're going to have in the future. Let's work through some rough numbers to kind of give a benchmark of how much money you need to be contributing towards your pension to hit a couple of income options in the future. But if I'm honest, it really depends on your lifestyle as to how much money you should be contributing to your pension. The numbers we're going to go through here are just rough, but in reality, you need to work out where you would like to be in retirement and how much income you would like to have, including that state pension that we mentioned in the start in there as well, to then be able to work backwards and work out how much you should be contributing. Now, for a long time in regards to pension contributions, the whole like half your age as a percentage yearly contribution thing has kind of been a rough benchmark to use. So if you are watching this video and you're 30, then that system would suggest that you should be contributing about 15% a year towards your pension. Obviously, that includes your employer contributions as well. So if it was a 15% that you need to contribute each year, and your employer offered a 6% match scheme, you know that if you're maxing it out, you can get 6% of that 15% from your employer. So that means you need to be putting in 9% each year, and that would get you your 15%. However, times have kind of evolved and lifestyles have changed really since that theory was kind of put into place. So it's kind of adapted since then. So we're going to get a little bit more precise with some of the numbers here, just to give you some examples to work from. So there's two questions to ask yourself to start with when trying to work out how much money you should have in your pension. The first is, what income do I want to have when I retire? You should also base in the fact that the state pension is there as well, as I've mentioned before. So if you take the £12,000 a year from the state pension, take that away from the number that you want to have as a yearly salary when you retire, that's how much that you need to be increasing your pension to be able to draw that number down in retirement. And then the other question you need to ask yourself is, how long do you have to build it? Where are you starting from? Where are you as of watching this video today? Have you already started contributing to your pension? Is it something you've never looked at? Is it something you're fully in control of and you're just looking to refine bits as you progress through time? It doesn't matter where you are on that journey, because it's all specific to you. The important thing is that you take your set of circumstances and apply it to your scenario to work out how long you've got left until you want to retire. A better rough estimate than the one that we used before is actually working towards having a retirement pot that is roughly 20 to 25 times the income that you want to have each year. So again, if you want an income of £50,000, you times that by 20 to 25, and that will give you the amount in your pension pot that actually you need to have that will allow you to draw down and be able to live that lifestyle. So if you're multiplying that out, 50,000 times 20, that gives you roughly a million to 1.25 million pounds in your pension. Now, I appreciate hearing those numbers may sound overwhelming and may sound completely kind of off the scale and potentially unachievable, but if you're willing to commit to your pension early and you're willing to keep your contributions consistent, you'll be amazed at how easy you can actually achieve those numbers. They are the two most important things with your pension, is starting early and contributing consistently. It's really important to remember as well that your pension fund is not a savings account, it's an investment portfolio. If your money for your pension is just going into a savings account, which some pension providers do offer the option to hold all of your money in your pension in cash, please avoid doing this. Or if it's something that you've actually already done in the past, I would strongly recommend that it's not something that you do going forwards, because holding it in cash means that the value of that money is just being eaten away at. As inflation increases every year, or as inflation exists every year, it eats away at the value of your money. So if you're just sat there with a cash fund, your money is just being eaten away at slowly by inflation. Whereas if your money is going into an investment portfolio, your money is going to grow over time and hopefully should outperform and outgrow the amount inflation eats into your money, to mean that your money is actually increasing in value and increasing in its buying power over time. That is how we get to those big numbers that we mentioned before of £1 million+ in your pension, because you're able to keep growing it each year little by little, and the more you contribute and the growth that you earn stays in your account, and then that grows every year and so on. Think of it like a snowball, and at the moment you're maybe at the top of the hill or part of the way down the hill and you've just pushed that snowball. but that snowball is going to keep growing and growing and growing over time. And the more snow it takes in, the bigger it gets. The same with your pension. The more money it takes in, the bigger it gets, until eventually you get to the other end and you've got a big pension ready for you to be able to retire. Now that we've established that it's an investment portfolio and that's what your pension is, it's important to look at where your money is invested. So again, once you've got the details of your pension and you've dug into it and you understand how much money you've got into there, the next thing to look at is where your money is actually being invested. A lot of people will just have their money invested in their employer's default fund, which is set up and is the same fund that's used by all the employees in your company. And it's normally a mixture of assets of stocks and shares, bonds. Sometimes some of them hold a small percentage of cash to try and provide an even balance of portfolio so that it's not too exposed to risk, but at the same time, you're unlikely to see growth off the charts. It's just going to be a very slow and steady ticking over growth through time. If you really want to get the most out of your money, then I would suggest looking at other funds that your pension provider offers to be able to invest into. So you don't have to keep your money in your employer's default fund. As I say, it's likely to be a very conservative fund that doesn't offer you massive growth. And if you want to be able to get and maximize your money, particularly if you're young, you're in your 20s, 30s, and even in your early 40s watching this video, taking your money out of that default fund and putting it into a fund that is more likely to give you higher sustainable growth is a really good option. Even just taking that money and putting it into a fund that just tracks the S&P 500 over in America, the FTSE 100, or really any kind of ETFs that just track global stock markets is a really good place to put that money, because the likelihood is that you're going to get a better growth rate out of that than from your default fund that you're currently invested in with your employer. How do you change it? You're in control of that. You can go to your pension provider's website. If you've got the details of your pension provider, you've got your account numbers, you've got your login details, simply log in on your computer. And depending on who your provider is, it should be fairly straightforward. It should firstly tell you what your money is invested into, and it will probably say your company's name and fund, or it will say default fund. It will say something like that that just suggests the fund your money is already in. But then you will be able to go through all of the funds offered by your pension provider and choose one that's suitable for you to invest your money into. Now, if you've got this far, you're doing really, really well with your pension. You've managed to sort out all your login details. You understand how much money you've got in your pension. You understand where your pension is invested. That's already a really great position to be in, and honestly puts you ahead of most of the population already. You'll be surprised how many people have no idea about this information and their pension and where their money is, where it's invested, how it's managed. So many people have no idea. The next thing to do, if you've got this far, is then look at consolidating your pensions. Now, what I mean by this is bringing together all of the pensions that pension pots and things that have been created from previous jobs that you have, bringing them all together so that you have ownership over them. Some people may be watching this video and it's your first job, but others may be watching this video, which is probably the more likely, and you've had 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however many jobs over your career so far. All of those jobs, the likelihood is that you will have had a pension set up for you and you will have been contributing money to that from your salary. But all of those individual jobs have small little amounts in their pension pots that are all kind of just out there that you don't have control of. But it is your money. This money belongs to you. So bringing them all together allows you to then get in control of where all of your money is. The best way to get control of all of these is to use a tool that's actually really useful on the government website. So if you go to gov.uk, they have a pension tracing service where you can supply some simple information about yourself, and the system will go away and find all of the pensions that you have that are out there currently, and it will then offer you the opportunity and explain to you how to bring them together. And at that point, you can then bring them all into one account that you have control of. It might be a pension account that you actually set up yourself rather than anything through your workplace. And then you can bring all of those pensions and consolidate them all into one place. So then you've got control of your money. Before consolidating them, it is just really important to check that you're not giving up any major benefits by moving out of the pension provider where your money currently is. Some of those pension providers will have things like age guarantees on them, where a certain age you hit, you're then able to withdraw the money. So recently I actually moved one of my pension pots from a previous job that I hadn't consolidated, and on that account it allowed me to actually withdraw that money from 55. The account I was moving to said that I couldn't withdraw the money till I was 56. Now, based on my plan, I'm not expecting that to have too much of an impact on me, and I was okay with that. So I agreed to sacrifice that benefit. But just check to see what benefits you might be sacrificing when moving your pension fund. The last thing to really cover is staying on track with your pension. Pensions aren't like probably a lot of other investments or a lot of other accounts where I would encourage you to take the set and forget approach. That's not really the case with pensions. With pensions, you want to make sure you're staying across how your money's performing, because this is the biggest single pot of money that you're going to have that's going to provide for you in your retirement. So making sure you're across it, making sure you stay up to date with your contributions is going to be really important for making sure you can achieve your financial goals for the future. So every now and then, it's not something you don't have to do it every month, but even if it's just once a year, just check in on where your money's at, where you are expecting it to be, how much money you're contributing, and do you want to make any changes? And also check where your money's invested to work out there if you want to make any changes as well. If you just go through that simple checklist every year, you'll just stay on top of your money to make sure you're hitting all the steps that you need to get to your financial goals and your retirement in a place that you want to be in. So there we have it. That's a simple guide to pensions and being able to take control of your money. Pensions aren't just a savings account. They are a full-on investing account that is allowing you to build a future for yourself financially. It's not just about even retiring at a certain age. It's about building towards financial freedom. Everybody's goals are different, and there's a whole array of ages and timelines that people want to retire on, and being committed and across your pension account is going to be a key building block in being able to achieve those goals that you've set yourself. So yeah, please make sure you go away today from this video, and if you don't know the information about your current pension or don't know about where your past pensions are, take those as the key takeaways to go and really investigate yourself and work out where you are. But yeah, I'm going to be doing lots more videos on pensions in the future as well. So if you liked this content, then please do make sure you subscribe to the channel to keep an eye out on what I've got coming up next. Make sure you like this video, leave a comment if you liked the video, or you want to make any comments or suggestions for future videos. As I say, I'm always open to any suggestions, and yeah, anything to do with personal finance, I'm keen to make a video on. So yeah, other than that, I will see you in the next one.